331 BCE, the dust of Gaugamela dances in the burning sun. Outnumbered nearly 5-1, Alexander stares across 1,000 chariots and hundreds of thousands of Persians. The world holds its breath as he commands his outnumbered Macedonians to advance, straight at the heart of the mightiest empire the world has ever seen. Born in 356 BCE in Pella, Alexander of Macedon was no ordinary prince. Tutored by Aristotle, disciplined by King Philip II, he learned that the world's limits exist only in the minds of men. By age 20, he was already king, a title he carried with the audacious dream of surpassing his father and conquering the unreachable, Persia. In the 4th century BCE, Greece was fractured, its city-states weary and world-exhausted. But Alexander stood at the gates of empire. The Achaemenid Persian realm, ruled by Darius III, controlled lands from Egypt to India. With its glittering cities, endless armies, and vast wealth, Persia seemed untouchable. But Alexander saw not boundaries, but horizons. When Darius III demanded Macedon's submission, Alexander answered not with tribute, but with iron and strategy. He faced not only the largest empire on earth, but overwhelming odds at Granicus, Issus, and finally Gaugamela, tens of thousands against his every 10,000. Could a young upstart from the edge of Greece really bring Persia to its knees? Failure meant more than death. To falter was to lose Macedon, to see Greece fall under Persian vassalage, to erase his father's legacy and betray centuries of Hellenic spirit. Victory would not just crown a king, but reshape the world. Advisors feared disaster. Veterans grumbled, recalling the invincible Persian cavalry and the seemingly infinite enemy ranks. Even the mighty Spartans, once conquerors of Asia, had failed where Alexander now dared. Could courage and cunning overcome numbers? Refusing soft victories, Alexander crossed the Hellespont in 334 BCE, signaling the start of open conflict. At the river Granicus, he gambled everything on a bold cavalry assault, nearly dying in the process. The die was cast. There would be no turning back. With every step east, Alexander forged his legend. At the Battle of Issus, 333 BCE, caught between mountains and sea, he forced a decisive victory against Darius himself, seizing the initiative and the Persian royal family. Each victory was a beacon, rallying new allies and striking fear into the heart of the Persian elite. Alexander's phalanx, spears bristling, shields locked, formed the Iron Core. Alongside them, the elite Companion Cavalry, trusted friends and generals like Parmenion and Hephaestion, plus Greek allies and even local satraps won over by the young king's charisma. Their discipline and flexibility were Alexander's secret weapon in the face of Persian might. Darius III, King of Kings, commanded a host estimated at 250,000 at Gaugamela, immortalized by Greek accounts, though likely exaggerated for effect. Scythed chariots, elite cavalry, and hoplites from Babylon to India stood ready. The Persian Empire's power seemed invincible, its very presence designed to intimidate any who challenged it. Battles exhausted men and horses. Disease, desertion, and the lure of Persian gold tested loyalty. Deep in enemy territory, supply lines frayed. Minor insurrections and a Persian scorched earth policy slowed their advance. The deeper Alexander pressed, the further he was from home, and the closer to Persia's vengeful heart. By autumn of 331 BCE, all roads converged at the plain of Gaugamela, near modern-day Mosul. Darius chose his ground, open, flat, designed for cavalry and chariots to reign supreme. But Alexander surveyed the field not as a victim, but as a predator searching for weakness. The night before the battle, Alexander allowed his soldiers extra rest, ignoring Persian taunts. He meticulously studied the battlefield, expanded his lines to prevent encirclement, and instructed his generals on a bold plan, a feigned retreat, drawing Persian cavalry out of position. As dawn broke on October 1st, 331 BCE, Macedonian veterans tightened armor and offered silent prayers. Across the field, Darius's war elephants trumpeted. The fate of East and West hung in the balance. Would Alexander's gamble pay off, or would his audacity finally bring ruin? The Persian advance thundered, a wall of chariots shredding earth. Alexander's light infantry leapt forward, opening lanes in the phalanx for the chariots to pass, then closed in behind, cutting them off. Persian cavalry surged onto Alexander's right, baited by a withdrawal, exactly as planned. Alexander saw his moment. With the companions, he drove like a lance straight for Darius. Amid a blizzard of arrows and spears, he crashed through the Persian center, splitting their line. Darius turned and fled. Macedonian discipline held as Persian morale crumbled. The sight of their king of kings in flight shattered Persian will. Macedonian spears pressed, cavalry broke ranks, and the mighty Persian host devolved into chaos. The world's largest army collapsed before Alexander's daring charge. Alexander's tactical genius, feigned retreats, flexible lines, the sudden cavalry thrust, transformed impossible odds into utter victory. His words rang out, "Remember, we are fighting not for land, but for glory." History would echo his brilliance for millennia. Gaugamela ended with a Persian rout. Macedon lost perhaps a few hundred, Persia, tens of thousands. Darius was a fugitive. Alexander stood poised to claim Babylon, Persepolis, and the untold riches of the empire. The toll was steep. Friends like Clytus would not return home. Years of battle lay ahead before Persia would truly fall. The land bore silent witness to blood and sacrifice, of conquerors and conquered alike. Within months, cities from Babylon to Susa opened their gates. Alexander was declared King of Asia. Yet even as he celebrated, resistance brewed, and the road into Persia's heart of hearts demanded more relentless campaigns. Gaugamela was not just a victory, it redefined history. The Persian Empire fell, Greek culture surged east, and the Hellenistic Age was born, an epoch where East met West, sculpting philosophy, art, and science for centuries to come. Alexander pressed on, across mountains, deserts, into India, spurred by dreams of unity and glory. But at just 32, he would fall in Babylon, his empire fractured, yet eternally influential. Some say he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer. From Alexandria to the Achaemenid ruins, Alexander's name endures. A conqueror, yes, but also a visionary who transformed warfare, leadership, and culture. His achievements echo through time, inspiring strategists, leaders, and dreamers alike. History teaches us this: odds mean nothing to the determined. Greatness is not just seizing victory, but reshaping what is possible through courage, creativity, and unbreakable will. If you stood on the field at Gaugamela, would you have charged forward or faltered before the storm? The dust of Gaugamela settled, but the world would never be the same. For one moment, an impossible dream became destiny, and in that moment, a mortal became legend. Next time you hear of armies and empires, remember Gaugamela and the young king who refused to accept the limits of his world. Next, we journey east to the fire-forged legend of Hannibal Barca, the man who brought Rome to its knees.